Self-awareness. I used to say this at the other place. Self-awareness, there's certain qualities in people that I think are really underrated. Curiosity, to me, is really underrated. I've never met a curious person who I didn't like. Like people that just, they have a certain wonder about the world and why, what, and why. And they're always kind of growing and they're just, you can keep the same job for 30 years, but just be incredibly curious. I like curious people. My mom was curious. And the other quality I think is underrated is self-awareness. We're all schmucks, right? We're guys. We're all schmucks. We all have bad days. But at least be reasonably aware. That's why I go to therapy. Why am I an idiot? Why do I do that? Why am I? Just have some sense of why. It goes a long way. And in the history of the NBA, the great players have almost all had self-awareness, from Magic to MJ to Dirk Nowitzki to LeBron to Durant to Malone. They've got an understanding. Here's what I do well. Here's what I don't do well. But they sort of get it. They can manipulate the crowd, the fans. They manipulate their brand. They kind of get it. Like they get what they should do and what they... And here's the thing. Then there's guys like Carmelo Anthony, Iverson, Marbury, who have the same level of talent as Dirk Nowitzki, the same level of talent as Karl Malone, but they have no self-awareness. They just don't get it. I don't know why. Some have it, some don't. But Carmelo Anthony will go on and on and on talking about, I'm a businessman. Dude, you've been in the NBA 12 years, one legitimate playoff run. Take care of business on the floor. If you talk business, you have no idea what a turnoff that is to the American viewing public. So I've always put NBA stars in two categories. Not NBA players. I'm talking stars. The get it crowd and the don't get it crowd. And Derrick Rose is officially in the don't get it crowd. Oh, everybody wants to put him in the get it crowd. Oh, he's this, he's that, he's that. No. He's officially in the Melo, Iverson, Marbury don't get it crowd. Sorry, I know you like him. He's not. So Derrick Rose had his 7th major injury yesterday. Now this one, nothing you can do about it. Practice, got an elbow in the face. Going to have surgery. Not his fault. Hope he gets better. Will. It's not a natural thing. You shouldn't be elbowed in the face. Nobody's blaming him for that. But what people won't talk about is 2 days earlier, a guy that has missed 280 games and played 100 in the last few years. A guy that's got a $100 million Adidas contract beyond his contract on the floor, of which he hasn't earned 80% of it. Here was a quote, the part we could find 2 days before his injury from Derrick Rose, about what he did this offseason and what he thought about.
My mindset was just making sure that I was working out every day and
that's good.
Spending as much time as possible with my son.
Cool.
And focusing on them two things.
Yeah.
Making sure my family is financially stable. As far as you see all the money that they're passing out in this league.
Whoa. You see all the money they're passing out in this league. You have missed 280 games. Nobody wants to hear that. Self-awareness. Nobody wants to hear when they spend $500 a night to take their family, middle-class people in Chicago. They take their kid to one NBA game a year. They live in Eastern Indiana. They can't afford to live in Chicago. They go to a single game a year with their son, and you're never available to play. You have a $100 million contract with Adidas. And you want to talk about your son? Awesome! You know, they're passing out a lot of money in this league, and I want to make sure I get... Nobody wants to hear that. You know what they want to hear? I've had 6 major injuries. All I care about is giving the fans who travel in that region of the country to come see me play an honest night's work and stay healthy. I have nothing against money. I got nothing against you making a ton. I got nothing against shoes. But you got to know right now when you are making in a day what a blue-collar Chicago family does in a year. They don't want to hear about your money and your deals. He continued on. You know, just knowing my day will come up soon. It's not for me, you know, but I'm talking about free agency. Nobody wants to hear that. Okay, when you win a couple titles, then, hey, man, free agency's coming. I want to get mine. You got a supporter in me. LeBron James won titles. Let's talk about it. Paul Pierce won a title in Boston. Payday. Let's talk about it. Magic, Bert. Dude, you can't stay on the floor. You have a $100 million shoe deal. You want to talk about getting yours? They're handing out money. Money's the last thing in the world anybody wants to hear about. 12 years in the NBA, LeBron's made a playoff run. Derrick Rose has been in this league for several years. He's now had 7 major injuries. I'm not blaming him for the injuries, but understand now they're part of your narrative. And understand when you go to a podium, nobody wants to hear about money. You've made 5 times what you've earned. You are a glorified shoe salesman at this point. You're not playing. You're just selling sneakers. Delusional. Lost. Doesn't get it. Akeem, Magic, the great ones. They get it. They give back. They make people better. Magic gives back to the game. Magic's helped so many players in this league. Akeem Olajuwon gives back to the game. Charles Barkley, as a broadcaster, gives back to the game. You're worried about money. Hannon has money out in this league. I'd make sure No tolerance for it. Not interested whatsoever. Class 2 star in the NBA at this point forward.